In the realm of Korean cinema, this film stands as a phenomenal masterpiece. Upon its release, it dominated the box office champion's seat for over 20 consecutive days. With a sharp and unflinching narrative, the film exposes brutal truths involving child trafficking and the illicit organ trade. Amidst visceral, bone-crushing action sequences and a heart-pounding manhunt, it takes you straight into the ultimate gamble between human good and evil. He is a man of extreme violence, the head of the Kanto branch of the Kanto society. In his mansion, numerous subordinates protect his safety. Just as he prepares to relax with a drink, a phone call suddenly comes in. The caller asks for his name, then inexplicably hangs up. Koreeda suddenly senses something is amiss. He hurriedly calls his men on the first floor, but no one answers. That is because his subordinates have already been quietly taken out. Panic sets in. He grabs a shotgun, quickly draws all the curtains on the second floor, and aims his weapon at the staircase, waiting in full combat readiness. Little does he know, the very act of drawing the curtains has sealed his fate. He slowly moves toward the stairs when suddenly the lights go out. He scrambles backward, but in the next second, a man dressed as a maintenance worker suddenly appears behind him, strangling him tightly with a cord. Before long, he dies at the hands of this man. It turns out this man disguised as a repairman is a hitman specifically sent to eliminate Koreeda. This man's name is In Nam, a Korean living in Japan and a professional bounty hunter. And this time, taking out the gangster Koreeda is his final job. After accepting the money bag from the intermediary, Shimada, In Nam plans to leave this line of work for good. But Shimada hates to see a veteran like In Nam leave and keeps trying to persuade him to take just one more job.
근데 진짜 마지막으로 하나만 더 해보는 거 어때?
약속 안 지키면 네가 마지막이 될 거야.
In Nam goes to his usual small restaurant for a drink. In his drunken state, he suddenly notices a painting on the opposite wall. Hearing the name Panama, In Nam becomes pensive. He calls Shimada to ask about the situation in that place. After hearing Shimada describe Panama as a paradise, In Nam makes a decision. He will spend his retirement there. Just as he envisions his retired life, in another Asian country, Thailand, lives a mother and daughter from Korea. The mother and daughter, who rely on each other, live a very happy life. Young Ju appears to be very wealthy, driving a luxury Mercedes every day to take her precious daughter, Yumin, to an international school. Then, Young Ju has a real estate agent she just met take her around to look at investment projects. To others, she looks like a single mother with money to burn. Because she rushes between various real estate projects every day, Young Ju hires a nanny to help pick Yumin up and take her home. However, on this day, disaster strikes. After picking up Yumin from school, the nanny does not take her home. Instead, looking nervous, she leads her into a strange car. In Japan, In Nam suddenly receives a call from his old superior, Chun Sung, telling him that a woman named Young Ju has called from Bangkok and seems to be looking for him urgently. But In Nam seems unwilling to have any further entanglement with this woman, and he rudely hangs up the phone. Young Ju, now at the Bangkok police station, is distraught. As a foreigner, she has no one to rely on. The Thai police cannot find the whereabouts of the nanny, so they can only turn Yumin's photo into a poster and paste it everywhere. Young Ju comes to the poster wall and falls into despair because the wall is covered with missing foreign children, and not a single one has been found. According to statistics from the Thai police, approximately 70,000 people are trafficked from Thailand to the Mayawati region of Myanmar annually, averaging nearly 200 victims a day. This data only reflects official records. The actual scale may be even larger. Thailand, this country that looks like a tropical paradise, is not as beautiful as it seems on the surface. Its cruel side is chilling. At this moment, Young Ju suddenly receives a call from the real estate agent, telling her that the nanny's whereabouts have been found, but she must bring money alone and must not call the police. Desperate to find her daughter, Young Ju doesn't think twice and rushes out of the police station. This trip plunges her into a hell from which there is no return. Hiding in a small hotel in Japan, In Nam's phone rings again, but this time he receives bad news. The woman named Young Ju is dead, and her body has been transported back to Korea, waiting to be claimed. In Nam is stunned by the news. He cannot accept it for a moment. His thoughts drift back to 8 years ago when he was actually a special agent for the Korean government's secret intelligence department. Because their department's assassination of diplomats was exposed by the media, the government wanted to shift the blame, so they abandoned them and began to secretly purge his group. Chun Sung was also helpless. Unable to protect his men, he could only give In Nam a passport and tell him to flee Korea immediately. But In Nam did not rush to the airport immediately. Instead, before leaving, he went to see the woman he loved most, Young Ju. He hid inside the elevator and told Young Ju everything that had happened, but the moment the elevator doors opened, 2 government-sent assassins appeared right in front of them. In Nam used to have a nickname, the Elevator God, because he excelled at taking out enemies in cramped elevator spaces, and this time was no exception. In Nam left Korea like this, and he has been gone for 8 years. To protect Youngju's safety, he cut off all contact with her, but he never expected that when they met again, he would be facing a cold corpse, a body that had been cruelly emptied of its internal organs. In Nam didn't expect that avoiding a phone call would lead to such a result. The police hand In Nam Youngju's belongings, a wallet. The officer tells him there is a photo of Youngju's daughter in the wallet, and this girl is currently missing. In Nam looks at the photos and realizes that this cute little girl is actually his daughter. Now, his plan to retire and go to Panama has been postponed. However, just before he prepares to go to Thailand, he receives a call from Shimada, telling him that big trouble is coming his way. It turns out that Koreeda, the man he took out, has a younger brother he hasn't contacted in years. This brother's name is Ray. In Japan, he has the nickname The Butcher. He is a psychopathic killer who murders without blinking. Now Ray is killing people everywhere, just to find the person who killed his brother. Shimada tells In Nam to be careful, adding that he himself has to leave Japan temporarily to hide. But unexpectedly, just as he finishes the call, Shimada is tied to a stretcher, and Ray, the so-called Butcher, appears before his eyes. On the other side, with the help of Chun Sung's powerful connections, In Nam gets the poster of his daughter in Bangkok. Just as he leaves for Bangkok, Chun Sung, resting at home, suddenly hears unusual movement outside. It's Ray, who has already come knocking at his door. And he too has found out where In Nam is heading next. In Nam arrives in Bangkok and finds Youngbei, a compatriot introduced by Chun Sung. With Youngbei's help, In Nam gets the bounty flyer for the nanny and learns that this is the woman who abducted Yumin. Youngbei is quite resourceful and finds information on the real estate agent, Jong-soo. Jong-soo is a scammer who specializes in cheating Koreans, and Jong-soo is now scouting for new prey. He introduces the large house where Youngju and her daughter lived to a newly arrived Korean couple. Just as Jong-soo got into his car, he was suddenly grabbed by the throat by In Nam, who had been hiding behind the vehicle. When he wakes up, his mouth is stuffed with a smelly sock, and he has been taken to a deserted riverside. In Nam wastes no words. He interrogates Jong-soo in his own way. Consequently, Jong-soo honestly confesses the whole story of how he scammed Youngju. It turns out he saw that Youngju was a woman with a daughter and no support, but with a large amount of savings, so he colluded with the nanny to kidnap the little girl and then caused Youngju's death. As for the little girl, he tells In Nam the devastating news that she has already been killed by the nanny. After saying that, the scammer naively asked In Nam to take him to the hospital, unaware that the only place he was headed was to meet God. Meanwhile, Ray has also arrived in Bangkok. He pays local thugs for help, and soon enough, they produce the wanted poster of the nanny, claiming they found her. Suspecting nothing, Ray follows 2 thugs to a warehouse district and enters a dark storage room. As soon as he enters, the iron door is slammed shut. Inside sits a group of local gangsters. There is no nanny at all. It seems he has been tricked. These guys want to squeeze more money out of him, but they have no idea what kind of demon they have provoked. Ray makes his move. He pulls out his carry-on knife and begins a massacre. As he killed, his eyes were like those of a ferocious beast, with one dagger thrusting up and down, piercing his enemies' bodies with precision and speed. It doesn't take long for him to single-handedly eliminate every thug in the warehouse. Covered in blood and filth, Ray pulls open the iron door and walks out. The thug guarding the door is petrified seeing him emerge. Still in a manic state, Ray grabs a handful of ice cubes from a cooler to cool himself down, even chewing on the ice crunchily. The thug is terrified by this madman, and finally reveals the nanny's true location. Meanwhile, the nanny everyone is looking for has just returned home from grocery shopping. Her husband is leisurely lying in bed scrolling through his phone. Just as the nanny is preparing dinner in the kitchen, she suddenly hears a slightly unusual sound outside. In Nam has found this place. As a veteran agent, he effortlessly neutralizes the nanny and her husband. In Nam takes out his pliers and Yumin's photo, demanding the nanny reveal where Yumin's body is. Seeing the nanny avert her eyes and refuse to answer, In Nam wasted no time and punished her husband right in front of her. Seeing that In Nam has no intention of stopping, the nanny finally breaks down. It turns out the nanny didn't kill Yumin but sold her to the biggest local gang boss, Ran. Ran specializes in child trafficking. In his base, he keeps dozens of kidnapped children. Because Yumin is Korean, and certain wealthy clients insist on strict donor compatibility, her value is unusually high, so she is kept in a separate room. To find where Ran keeps the children, In-nam asks Young Bae to introduce someone who can act as a guide and translator. Young Bae doesn't want to risk himself, but people who speak both Korean and Thai are rare. After searching, he can only find a transgender woman named Yui for In-nam, hoping she can help. With Young Bae's help, they contact Ran's men, pretending to be wealthy Korean businessmen in need of a special medical arrangement. While waiting, Yui, out of boredom, shows In-nam photos on her phone. It turns out she also has a child in Korea. Fearing gossip and scaring her child, she ran away to this place alone. These two strangers suddenly find common ground in this moment. Their children are their biggest emotional anchors. Just then, In-nam's phone rings. Yui, acting as the translator, answers it. It turns out the other party has been observing them from across the street for quite a while. After confirming that there was nothing suspicious about them, he drove a van and took them to the place where the children were being held. The woman in charge opens a door and lets In-nam choose. In-nam sees a shocking scene, a small room packed with children averaging less than 8 years old. The woman tells them they can take a child for surgery once they choose. But In-nam didn't see his daughter anywhere in that room, so he said he wanted a Korean girl. However, the woman tells him the only Korean girl has just been reserved. In-nam stands helplessly in the hallway, while Yui complains incessantly beside him. Listening to Yui's ranting, In-nam decides he can't just sit and wait. He turns back to the room where the children are kept and kicks the door lock off with a fierce blow. He then takes out Yumin's photo and asks the children in the room if anyone has seen her. Surprisingly, a little boy has. In-nam rushes in and continues to question the boy, finally learning that his daughter has been taken away for surgery. Hearing this, In-nam's heart tightens. He lifts the boy's shirt and sees a horrific sight. In-nam looks at these children and feels he cannot leave them behind. He wants to save them all, but just then, Yui looks nervous. The thugs guarding the place have returned. In-nam rushes out, knocks the gun from a thug's hand, and engages in combat with several charging gangsters. But they are no match for In-nam. He takes them all out in a few moves. The woman in charge is screaming nearby. In-nam grabs her by the throat, forcing her to say where Yumin has been taken. Through Yui's translation, In-nam learns that Yumin has already been transferred and sent for surgery. He demands the location, but the woman refuses to speak. At that moment, the little boy suddenly screamed. In-nam picks up the boy to leave, but as he turns, he sees the woman who just ran away, suddenly stabbed to death at the end of the corridor. And immediately after, he sees the greatest nemesis of his life. The butcher, Ray, has found this place. Knowing his opponent is formidable, In-nam entrusts the boy to Yui, telling her to take the children and leave first. As for him, he must face this enemy head-on. Both men hold knives, engaging in a fierce blade fight. After a brutal clash, both manage to knock the weapon out of the other's hand. It is only then that In-nam truly realizes how terrifying this man's combat power is. They fight hand to hand. In-nam is kicked into a room by Ray. They trade heavy punches, blow for blow. Finally, In-nam throws Ray out the door and slams the iron mesh door shut. Ray furiously hacks at the door with a machete, but it's futile. At this moment, more thugs rush in. Ray has to deal with these annoying minions first. In-nam seizes the opportunity to kick open the iron window, runs onto the balcony outside, and quickly descends to the street. Ray can only watch helplessly as his enemy slips away. In-nam rushes back to Young Bae's place. With his help, he finally figures out the location of a place called Lang Yao. He also learns that Chun Sung has fallen victim to Ray, as Chun Sung's phone is now in Ray's hands. It seems now it's not just Ray seeking revenge on In-nam. The two are locked in a fight to the death. In-nam dials Chun Sung's phone. Ray answers. This is the first conversation of their lives. The next day, In-nam drives to Lang Yao, searching everywhere for any trace of his daughter. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, Ray visits a weapon shop. He feels a knife isn't enough to take out In-nam, so he wants to purchase a large cache of weapons. The shopkeeper sees he is a foreigner and refuses to sell. Ray doesn't waste words. He grabs a Heckler & Koch G36C and viciously strikes the shopkeeper's head with it. Before long, a large group of Ran's thugs arrive. It turns out this is also his territory, but when they see the heavily armed Ray, they are dumbfounded. Back at Lang Yao, In-nam searches for a long time with no results, until he sees several boys playing soccer by the road. He suddenly remembers the little boy telling him he used to play soccer at Lang Yao. He gets out of the car and finds a boy playing alone. Upon questioning, he learns the boy's father makes soccer ball, and In-nam finally discovers where his daughter is being held. It turns out this building is also Rand's territory. Besides making cheap toys, it is used to hold children ready for surgery. Yumin is locked here, ready to enter the operating room at any moment. In-nam goes to an abandoned house opposite the building, secretly observing. Locked in her cell, Yumin seems to sense something and suddenly stands up, walking to the window. In-nam spots his daughter instantly. Father and daughter gaze at each other from a distance. Perhaps this is the true bond and connection of blood. Just then, a van pulls up to the building. Yumin is about to be taken for surgery. Seeing the situation is critical, In-nam rushes downstairs. Seeing his daughter being carried into the van, he jumps into his truck to give chase. But halfway there, a tuk-tuk suddenly rushes out from a side road, blocking In-nam's path. Sitting inside the tuk-tuk is Ray. Ray grabs a Remington 870 shotgun and fires violently at In-nam's truck. After emptying the shotgun, he picks up an AR-15 assault rifle and sprays bullets. Facing such heavy firepower, In-nam can only slam on the accelerator and reverse to dodge. Seeing In-nam trying to run, Ray gets back in the tuk-tuk to chase. At this moment, Thai plainclothes police suddenly block In-nam's path and open fire on him. Caught in a pincer attack, In-nam is enraged. With a roar, he steps on the gas and rams directly into the police blocking the road. He smashes open a gap and finally escapes. Unable to stop In-nam, the police open fire on Ray. But Ray is someone they shouldn't have messed with. He pulls out a hand grenade. Meanwhile, Yumin has been taken into the operating room. The doctor in charge hears the gunfire outside but is unwilling to stop the surgery. After all, the profit from this single job is enormous. Outside, In-nam, in his desperate escape, crashes into a pile of scrap cars. Ray grabs a machine gun and sweeps the area. He's not only skilled with knives, but also a master marksman. Because the battle is so intense, the Thai police actually deploy a SWAT team. The SWAT team's equipment is even more sophisticated than Ray's, armed with bulletproof shields and grenade launchers, forcing Ray to take cover. At this moment, both men hide in the wreckage of cars. When enemies meet again, the hatred burns even hotter. Ray picks up his machine gun and unleashes a barrage at In-nam, but when the smoke clears, In-nam is gone. The SWAT team has already set up an attack formation on the perimeter. Ray has no choice but to focus on these soldiers first. But the SWAT team's firepower is overwhelming, leaving Ray in a sorry state. This can't go on. He'll be killed sooner or later. Ray sees a bag of grenades he dropped nearby. He steels himself and hurls all his grenades over. Meanwhile, In-nam runs wildly. He must speed up. He finally reaches the operating room and takes care of the people performing the surgery. He finally finds his daughter. He quickly picks her up and leaves this dangerous place. Although out of immediate danger, In-nam is covered in wounds. He can't go to a hospital, so he uses a stapler to forcibly close his wounds. He gazes gently at Yumin's face. This is his child. To leave Thailand as quickly as possible, In-nam contacts Young-bae again. Young-bae finds him a smuggling boat, but the ticket transaction needs to happen at another hotel. Young-bae is also busy packing to flee, all thanks to In-nam. Now everyone in the underworld knows Ray's fearsome name. Once he has his sights on you, survival is almost impossible. Since several of his sites have been raided, the boss, Ran, is grinding his teeth in anger. Just as he gathers his men to go hunt people down, unexpectedly, someone comes knocking on his door. Ray, carrying a bag of grenades, barges straight in front of Ran. But he isn't here for mutual destruction. He wants to make a deal with Ran. They will cooperate to catch In-nam, the man who ruined Ran's business. Yumin has woken up. She stands by the window, staring blankly outside. She is looking to see when her mother will return. She doesn't know that her mother will never come back. In-nam gently helps Yumin to the bed. Although he is her biological father, he has no experience taking care of children and is at a loss for a moment. So he calls Yui, whom he worked with before, hoping she can help him. Hearing that In-nam wants her to help care for the little girl Yui, fearing that it would bring trouble upon herself, immediately refuses him. After all, In-nam is now a massive trouble magnet. Anyone with him will meet a bad end. Young-bae is a living example. He has already been caught by Ray. He has no choice but to spill everything about In-nam's plan to leave by boat. At this time, In-nam has changed Yumin into a pretty dress and bought her a teddy bear. They then check into the designated hotel. Yumin remains silent, not saying a word. It seems she has suffered great trauma. In-nam doesn't know what to do or how to communicate with her. Just then, the room phone rings. It turned out the time for the ticket exchange had arrived, and the caller told In-nam to come to the back alley of the hotel to make the trade. Before leaving, In-nam suddenly sees Yumin crawl under the bed. He quickly pulls her out. It turns out Yumin found a coin under the bed. So In-nam uses this coin to perform a little magic trick for her. Youngju used to do this magic trick for her too. The familiar feeling instantly makes Yumin feel a sense of closeness to this uncle.
아저씨가 약속할게. 유민이 곁을 떠나지 않는다고. 무슨 일이 있어도 절대 혼자 두지 않겠다.
After making a promise with In-nam, Yumin suddenly spreads her arms, wanting to hug the uncle in front of her. Tears instantly well up in In-nam's eyes. In this moment, he finally becomes a true father. Gathering his emotions, In-nam leaves the hotel room. Following instructions, he goes to the back alley. After paying a large sum of cash, he is told he can go to the pier at 5 p.m. to catch the boat. In-nam rushes back to the hotel excitedly because his daughter is waiting for him in the room. But as soon as he reaches the main entrance, his heart goes cold. Several burly men are sitting in the lobby. In-nam doesn't hesitate. He enters the hotel and heads for the elevator. He must see his daughter. But along this short stretch of road, countless assassins are already lying in wait. In-nam runs up the stairs, taking out assassin after assassin along the way. Getting stabbed himself in the process. He can only endure the pain and keep climbing because he promised his daughter he would never give up on her. Although the journey is short, it is exceptionally arduous. In-nam has been stabbed several times, but he persists and reaches the room door. Muttering his daughter's name, he pushes the door open. But the scene he sees fills him with rage. Ray is already sitting in the room waiting for him, and his daughter is nowhere to be seen. Plastic sheets have been laid out on the living room floor. It seems these people plan to chop him into pieces right here. In-nam struggles weakly. Just as he is about to be finished off by Rand's men, Ray suddenly pulls out a gun. This maniac won't let anyone else touch his prey. He wants to slaughter In-nam with his own hands. Just as In-nam is dragged toward a van to be taken to a slaughterhouse, Yui, who has been waiting in the parking lot, sees everything. It turns out she thought it over and decided to come after all. Seeing In-nam being forced into the car, she quickly gets into her own vehicle. This person, who usually seems timid and cowardly, steps on the gas and slams violently into the departing van. While the driver is unconscious, Yui saves the trapped In-nam. In-nam holds the driver at gunpoint, demanding his child's location, only to learn she is in Ray's car. And Ray's car has just driven away right in front of him. Cursing under his breath, In-nam sprints to give chase. In-nam chases them outside. Seeing Ray's car getting further away, he has no choice but to take a shortcut to intercept. He finally sprints out from the side path to the front of the car, pulling out his pistol in an attempt to stop Ray's vehicle. In-nam charges into the car and engages Ray in a fierce fight. The out-of-control car swerves left and right on the narrow road, finally crashing to a halt by the roadside. In-nam sees a trembling suitcase nearby and realizes his daughter is inside. Just as he moves to open the suitcase, Ray pulls out a knife and stabs In-nam in the heart from behind. In-nam is hovering on the brink of death, but he still has one unresolved will. He hasn't saved his daughter yet. This will forces him to reach into a nearby bag and pull out a hand grenade. The car is blown into the air, flipping several times before landing on the ground. Dying and coughing up blood, In-nam opens the suitcase and lifts his daughter out. Fortunately, Yumin is unharmed. At this moment, Yui arrives in a panic. In-nam quickly hands Yumin over to her. Ray stabs In-nam again, followed by a second knife. In-nam, coughing blood continuously, knows his time is up. He takes one last look at his daughter. That look holds self-blame, regret, and relief. This glance is all his love and debt to his daughter. The final gaze of a soul stained with sin looking at love and hope at the end of his life. His life has finally reached its end. Ray lights a cigarette for himself, thinking he is the final winner. But then, he suddenly sees a grenade slip from In-nam's hand. The grudge between the two men ends completely in the sound of an explosion. Yui takes Yumin to open a locker, which contains a bag left for them by In-nam. Inside the bag is a pile of money, along with all the documents and plane tickets to Panama. It turns out In-nam had called Yui later and told her his plan. He had actually calculated that he wouldn't leave Thailand alive, so he left all the money to Yui, hoping she would take his daughter to Panama. Yui takes Yumin to the seaside in Panama, where In-nam had already bought a house. They will live in this paradise-like place, surviving tenaciously with the hopes of Yumin's parents. Deliver Us from Evil is not just a simple revenge flick. It acts like a mirror stripping away humanity and society, allowing every viewer to see their connection to the world amidst the interplay of blood and light. Redemption is never a one-sided self-forgiveness, but a reconstruction of fractured humanity in the process of protecting others. And evil is never an innate label, but a fate that solidifies through repeated choices to abandon the light. Even more chilling is how the film exposes society's hidden wounds, showing children trapped in the shadows, lives reduced to numbers, and cruel transactions taking place in lawless border zones. These details are never exaggerated fiction, but shadows currently existing in reality. We often think evil is far from us, gangsters on a screen, criminals in the news. But the growth of evil often begins with the silence of ordinary people, turning a blind eye to pleas on the street, choosing to block out online crimes, remaining silent about injustices. We have long become accomplices to the darkness. The preciousness of kindness is never about earth-shattering feats, but about choosing to care a little more amidst the inertia of avoiding trouble and being willing to extend a hand amidst the indifference of, "It's not my business." The way to fight evil is never to become another killer, but to hold on to that courage to refuse to drift with the tide in our respective lives. After all, the starlight above the darkness is always lit by the glimmer of countless ordinary people.